What's going on? Welcome. Thanks for checking out this video. So I was planning to make a video about the big story from the Hollywood Reporter that came out yesterday about Wonder Woman 3 getting canceled and all the other rumors and speculation about the newly formed DC Studios' future. But some more news has come out surrounding this story as James Gunn himself has responded directly to said article from yesterday and has, very frustratingly, only added more fuel to the speculative fire. I mean, the whole situation is just a huge mess of rumors and reports. But as it stands, it sounds like possibly a complete reboot of the DCU is in the works. So we'll take a look at James Gunn's response to it all. And, you know, you can take what he said how you will. And anything I say here is just pure speculation. So let's get into it. So I'm not going to waste time reading through the entire THR article from yesterday. But here's a rundown of all the juicy bits. Props to Cosmic Book News for compiling this list. So this is what we got. Wonder Woman 3 is canceled. Ben Affleck Batman cut from Aquaman 2, and Ben Affleck is done as Batman. Jason Momoa is done playing Aquaman. He's now playing Lobo. Henry Cavill cut from The Flash and not playing Superman at all, with Man of Steel 2 not happening. Dwayne Johnson Black Adam sequels and spin-offs may be canceled. Plans for the Snyderverse characters in Justice League 2 is axed. James Gunn and Peter Safran reboot the entire DCU. The Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson The Batman sequel and spin-offs are safe. So, this is seriously crazy to say the least. I mean, Ben Affleck being done as Batman is probably the least surprising thing on this entire list, since he doesn't even want to play the character anymore, unless he had changed his tune recently that I wasn't aware of. And Jason Momoa going from playing Aquaman to Lobo? That is just batshit crazy, but, you know, I could actually get on board with that. I mean, Lobo is an awesome character, and even though Jason Momoa is a douche, he looks exactly like the character once you throw some gray body paint on him and put a cigar in his mouth. Now, just remember, absolutely none of this has been officially confirmed yet. Not even Wonder Woman 3's cancellation. It's all rumor based on anonymous sources mixed with tons of speculation. James Gunn has seen the report, though, and, you know, he put his own statement out in response. So let's check it out. So, as for the story yesterday in the Hollywood Reporter, some of it is true, some of it is half true. Some of it is not true, and some of it we haven't decided yet whether it's true or not. Gunn wrote on Twitter on Thursday, although this first month at DC has been fruitful, building the next 10 years of story takes time and we're still just beginning. Peter and I chose to helm DC Studios knowing we were coming into a fractious environment, both in the stories being told and in the audience itself, and there would be an unavoidable transitional period as we moved into telling a cohesive story across film, TV, animation, and gaming. Gunn continued on Twitter. But in the end, the drawbacks of that transitional period were dwarfed by the creative possibilities and the opportunity to build upon what has worked in DC so far and to help rectify what is not. We know we are not going to make every single person happy every step of the way, but we can promise everything we do is done in the service of the story and in the service of the DC characters we know you cherish and we have cherished our whole lives. As for more answers about the future of the DCU, I will sadly have to ask you to wait. We are giving these characters and the stories the time and attention they deserve, and we ourselves still have a lot more questions to ask and answer. How tremendously informative, James Gunn. Thanks for that. So yeah, that was insanely vague, which I know is for obvious reasons since their plan for the DCU still has to be finalized, and then it still has to ultimately be approved by CEO David Zaslav. But I mean, there's still plenty we could speculate on here. You know, I think the most important thing to focus on is when he said the opportunity to build upon what has worked in DC so far and help rectify what is not. And that we know we are not going to make every single person happy every step of the way, but we can promise everything we do is done in service of the story and characters. Now, to me, that's a pretty big signal, and I pray I'm wrong because this is the only thing I personally want to see the most. That Henry Cavill may be out as Superman because if you ask me, the one thing DCU fans have been most outspoken about is with wanting to see Henry Cavill make a triumphant return to the character. I mean, James Gunn has to know this, so when he says they won't make everyone happy, you know, it just feels like he's preparing people for the disappointing news. As I said, I'm just purely speculating here, so please don't take any of this as any kind of guarantees. But it's just a gut feeling, you know? It sure as hell doesn't help the argument for Henry Cavill when the movie he made his big return cameo in, Black Adam, is going to end up being a huge box office flop for DC. No matter how much Dwayne Johnson tries to cope about streaming and Blu-ray purchases somehow making the film slightly profitable, because the only number people care about is the worldwide box office gross. And $387 million globally, when the movie needed $600 million just to break even, is a terrible outcome. So that's probably why it's rumored that Dwayne Johnson has supposedly been butting heads with James Gunn over the direction for the DCU. I mean, Dwayne Johnson had been making all these big plans for the future of Black Adam facing off against Cavill's Superman, but then his big movie went off like a wet fart. That just isn't going to do shit to help him when he makes his case for the direction he wants to see them go in. So, I don't know. Obviously, we could sit here all day long and speculate, but it'd be pretty much pointless. And I'm not opposed whatsoever to a reboot of the franchise. You know, the DCEU has been pretty freaking messy these past 10 years with not enough of a clear direction. And a whole new plan could end up being awesome for DC. There's just a shit ton of possibilities, but I just hope there's room in there for Henry Cavill. And I really think they'd be getting off on the wrong foot if they begin their journey by pissing off so many fans by ditching Henry Cavill. It's annoying, but I guess we just have to wait and see. So what do you make of all these rumors, and of James Gunn's response to it? You think Henry Cavill is out, or do you think he's going to remain? Let me know in the comments down below. Please like and share the video, and consider subscribing if you enjoy my content. And I'll catch you all later.